Good morning, student. In our last lecture, we have learned about the autotrophic plants, transport system in plants, and the biological fixation of nitrogen. Now, there is one more thing is that atmospheric fixation of nitrogen. Now, say students, lightning, that is thunderbolts, occur in the rainy seasons. This causes atmospheric nitrogen and oxygen to react with each other to form nitric oxide, which is again oxidized to form nitrogen dioxide. The nitrogen dioxide dissolves in water and it is converted into nitric acid, which gets added to the soil along with the rainwater, and then plants use this nitrogen also for their growth. Okay, students, today we are going to learn about the symbiotic nutrition. Now, what is the meaning of symbiotic nutrition? Now, see, student, in some cases, two or more than two different types of plants live together to fulfill their needs of nutrition. Again, I am repeating, in some cases, two or more than two different types of plants live together to fulfill their needs of nutrition, protection, and support with each other's help. This type of nutrition is called as symbiotic nutrition. Means students, two or more than two different types of plants are living together to fulfill their needs of nutrition also. They protect themselves also with the help of other plants. They are supporting also that plants. In this way they are help each other, and this type of nutrition is called as the symbiotic nutrition. Now, for example, we can see this type of nutrition in fungi, then in lichen. Now, fungi grow around the roots of some other plants that we have already seen many times. That fungi are growing on the on any on the on any type of host or near the roots of some other plants. These plants supply nutrients to these fungi, and in turn fungi supply minerals and water to that plants. Means fungi also help that host plants. That plant give the nutrients to the fungi, and in another hand fungi also supply mineral and water to that plants. This type of nutrition is called as the symbiotic nutrition. Some fungi and algae live together. The fungi provides water, minerals as well as shelter to algae. In return, the algae provide food the fungi. Understood? Some fungi and algae are also live together. Fungi provides water and minerals and shelter to the algae, and in return algae provide food to the fungi. Lichen is an example of a symbiosis between algae and fungi. Lichen is an example of a symbiosis between algae and fungi. Now, say students, next type of plant is that of symbiotic nutrition, that is heterotrophic plants. Heterotrophic plants. Now, heterotrophic plants do not contain chlorophyll. Then from where they get the food? These plants grows on the body of other plants to obtain the food, which are called as the parasitic plants. For example, Loranthus and Cuscuta. These plants are not having any green color or chlorophyll in them. Then what they are doing? They are growing on the another plant's body so that they can get the food from that plant. And this type of plants are called as the parasitic plants. For example, Loranthus and Cuscuta. Due to the absence of chlorophyll, the Cuscuta is completely dependent upon the host plant. Hence, it is said to be a completely parasitic plant. You can see in this picture, see that yellow like wires are there. These yellow wires are nothing but the Cuscuta plant, and chlorophyll is not there. That is why its color is yellow. And if chlorophyll is not there, then how it get the food? It get the food from its host plants. Means it completely depend upon its host plant for the food. That is why it is called as the completely parasitic plant. You must have also noticed Loranthus that grows on trees. See, you can see on the second picture that Loranthus also there, which grows on the trees. That is also the parasitic plant. The next plants are the insectivorous plants. The next plants are the insectivorous plants. Now students, we have seen that how some plants feed upon insects to obtain nutrients. These insectivorous plants generally grow in soil or water deficient in nitrogen compounds. Means these insectivorous plants are growing in soil also and water also, but they don't have nitrogen compounds. They cannot get in nitrogen compounds from the soil or water. So how they are fulfill their needs of nitrogen? They are catching the insect, and after catching that insect they can take the nitrogen from that insect. The plant body of Drosera burmuni has a flower like appearance. See, in this picture I have shown you that Drosera burmuni is the plant which structure is like a flower, and it grows close to the ground. Its leaves are attractively pink or red in color with hairs at the margin. Droplets of a sticky substance found at the tips of the hairs attract insects. So its attractive color, its structure is very attractive so that insects can attract towards it. The scientist Johannes Burman identified this plant in Sri Lanka in 1737. Hence the plant is named after him, that is Drosera burmuni. Understood? Now next plant is that saprophytic plants. Plants which obtain the food from dead and decaying bodies of other organisms are called saprophytic plants. Plants which obtain the food from dead and decaying bodies of other organisms are called saprophytic plants. Various types of fungi like mushrooms and yeast are saprophytes. Fungi secrete digestive enzymes on the dead remains to digest or break down the carbon compound they contain. The resulting solution is absorbed to obtain nutrients. Various types of fungi like mushrooms and yeast are saprophytes, and this secretes the digestive enzymes on the dead remains to digest or break down the carbon compounds which that dead contains. And the resulting solution is what? That they absorb the obtain nutrients. So student, this is all about the plants, that is saprophytic plants, heterotrophic plants, insectivorous plants and symbiotic nutrition. Now students, role of nutrients and effects of their deficiency on plants. Means suppose the plants are not getting the nutrients properly. So what happened with that plants? And what is the function of that nutrient in that plant? That is given in this chart. Now what you need to do? You need to study this chart very well and you need to write down this chart in the notebook also. See, the nutrient nitrogen is given. What is its function? That important component of proteins, chlorophyll and cytoplasm. Then what is the effects of deficiency? If nitrogen is not there in the plant, then what happened? The retarded or stunted growth, means plant cannot grow properly, and yellowing of leaves, and leaves will become yellow. Then second nutrient is phosphorus. What is the function? Function is that conversion of light energy into chemical energy. And if the plant will not get this phosphorus, what happens with the plant then? Early leaf fall, late flowering and slow growth of roots. Third one is that the potassium. What is the function of potassium? Necessary for metabolic activities. It helps for metabolic activities. And if it is not getting by the plants, then what happens? Weak stem will be there, wilting of leaves, failure to produce carbohydrates. Next one is that the magnesium. Function of the magnesium is that production of chlorophyll. What is the effects of deficiency? That is slow, retarded growth and yellowing of leaves. Third, next one is that iron. Function, production of chlorophyll, and if it will not get by the plants, then yellowing of leaves. Next, manganese. Production of main plant hormones. Production of main plant hormones is the function of manganese, and if the plant will not get this, then its growth will retarded or stopped or slow and spotted leaves. Next and last one is that zinc. The function of zinc is that production of hormones and their intermediates, and if it will not get by the plants, then the plant's growth is slow and yellowing of leaves. So students, this is the chart which shows the role of nutrients and effects of their deficiency on plants. I hope you understood this topic very well. In next chapter, in next lecture, we will learn about the nutrition in animals. Here your nutrition in plants is over. Now your homework is that you need to write down this chart which I have told now in the notebook properly. Understood?